Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and hi to all of my new subscribers. This is Prosperous Living with Toya, and I am your spiritual cheerleader to help you recognize, actualize, realize that you are the power. You are the power, you are the cause, you are God incarnate, came to experience this thing in which we call human. I hope that a lot of you are here is because you want more out of life. You want to experience the life more abundant, and maybe you have questions as to why we are here, how did we come into being. I'm not going to say that I have all of those answers, but I will say that I am not here to convince anyone to change their beliefs, their values, to walk away from religion or anything like that. Whatever you resonates and you identify with is up to you. It's your reality. You're the power, you're the cause, you are the reason for your life. If you're ready to accept accountability, responsibility for your own life, because that is the power that you are, that is the power that you possess. And I don't know how many videos that you have watched of mine, but I do reference the Bible a lot, and I believe the Bible is an acronym for basic instructions before leaving earth, that it is our blueprint to life. It is a book that was written by us for us. So when we came into this physical form to experience that which we call human, we have left something for us to reference as our guide. And we left a lot of books. We left a lot of what you call quote unquote sacred text to remind us of who we are. And one thing I am reminded of is who we are. We are non-judgmental. We are uncritical. We give no condemnation. We do not shame people. We do not tell people what they shouldn't do. We tell you what's possible. And that is the reason for this platform, to remind you of what's possible. And I'm reminded in the Bible that all things are possible. And when it says all things, that means all things: the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the horrible, the traumatic, the terrible, as well as the love, the joy, the peace, the harmony. And so once you come into this understanding, this awakening, this actualization, this realization of who you are, what you are, and that you are, and how to live the life more abundant, and then you will start to experience more of who you truly are and less of that which you are not. For the most part, when we came into this human form as a babe, as that bundle of joy, we came here and we chose to, conditioned ourselves to believe in all the things that we were not. And we have experienced as a human race, in this human experience, in some horrific, terrible things. And I'm not here to say or to get on the discussion of who's to blame, because there is no blame game. There is no blame. We are the power that created it all. We are the power that created the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we did it because we put on limitation. We came to experience being a limited being. And when you experience being a limited being, you experience all those things that an unlimited being would do. So when you're limited, you think that somebody else holds the power over you. When you limited, you don't recognize that you have the power to create the reality in your world. So we created governments, we created authority figures, we put policemen, doctors, teachers, pastors, we put all these quote unquote people in authority over us because we didn't recognize we had the power. And so we look for a power outside of us, and we created all these things that signified something outside of us as having authority over us. But once we decide it's time for us to take our power back, recognize who we are, to walk in the power that we are. And the Bible reminds us of that, right? It tells us that we were made in the image and likeness of God, of all there is, of consciousness, of the source, of Jesus, of the Christ, of the Buddha, Krishna, whatever you want to call it, because it depends on what community you identify with, in which way you would see that which is all powerful. And we were made in the image and likeness of that power. And we are told that we were given the power and dominion over all things in the earth, above the earth, under the earth, right? That means that we are the creators of our reality, because if we're made in the image of all there is, and all there is a creator, that makes us the creator. And so we have created all these things for the purpose of the experience of this game called life. Some people call it a game, some people call it a stage, other people call it a movie, whether it's a screenplay, whether it's a stage, or whether it's a game. We created it all. When I say we, I'm talking about consciousness, because consciousness is the only power. And there aren't 10,000 powers, there aren't 50 powers, there aren't 2 powers. There's only one power. And that one power created all things. Now that power has individualized itself into humankind. And so at this present moment in time, what they say is about 8 to 10 billion of us life forms walking around, right? Those that call themselves human, that put on this physical form we call a body. And while we're in this body, this is our limitation. But then you decide that at some point in time, also which is a construct, that at some point in time in this third dimension, you would awaken to know the being that you truly are. And the being that you truly are, you are an eternal, infinite, unlimited being. And now you're starting to recognize how to use the power that you were given, and how to use the power to have an abundant life. Because for the most part, we have been using the power to create lack, hate, some of the most horrific, traumatizing experiences known to man. Right? We have done some horrific things. And when I say we, I'm talking about consciousness. Consciousness has done this, because another human being doing it to another human being is consciousness doing it to consciousness. It's me doing it to me, because there is no one else. There is only consciousness, or only God, and God is playing all parts. So there is no separateness. Like, you are me, I am you. You are a reflection of my consciousness, and I am a reflection of your consciousness. And so I can only be to you what you accept about me. So if you have certain preconceived notions of the type of being you think I am, then that's how I will show up in your life. And I may show up completely different in someone else's life, because why? They have a different expectation or perception of me. Right? And so we go through this life experiencing our awareness, our consciousness, our preconceived notions, our assumptions, our beliefs, right? What we accept about that is true. So, and we have accepted a lot of things. And in order to start experiencing something different than you have been experiencing, the key is to turn your attention away from it. And how do you turn your attention away from it? You got to stop talking about it. You just got to choose to let it go. You got to choose to start feeling like experiencing something different. And I like that. I got that from a TikToker that I follow on from a TikTok that I follow, and also followed on Instagram. And I like that terminology of saying feel like, as opposed to want or need, because want and need at its essence, at its core, signifies lack. It signifies that you don't have something. And we have all. We possess all things. We already are that which we desire to be. So when we say that we want something or that we need something, we're saying to ourselves that we don't already have it. But we already do have it, because consciousness lacks nothing. Consciousness does not know anything about not having something. Consciousness is. It just is. And is a form to be. And to be and I am is a form to be. So I am what I say I am. Another scripture, right? In the Bible, when Moses was going to tell was told to go and tell the Israelites that they will be led out of Egypt. And Moses was like, well, who do I go and say that sent me? And the consciousness, that which we call God, and that's the word they use in the Bible, is you say, I am, that I am has sent me unto you. And said, that's my name from generations, and it should never change. And so what creature under heaven uses the term analogy, I am? The human being, right? The human being, not the human doing. The human being says, I am. And whatever you say I am, that is what you shall be. So if you say, I am sick, I am poor, I am angry, I am mad, I am disappointed, then that's what you will experience. And guess what? It's okay that you experience those things, because you came to experience limitation. But now you're wanting to experience abundance. Now you're wanting to unlimit yourself and become the limitless being that you always knew that you were, you just forgot. And that is what this platform is about, to help you to remember, to cheer you on to realizing who you are. I don't want to necessarily say a coach, because a coach tells you what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, when you should be doing it. I'm not doing any of that. I'm here to help you figure out who you are. And I'm here to just be that representation that says, once you recognize who you are, there is nothing you cannot be and nothing you cannot have. And I don't even like to say do, because doing is second. It's second. That's the second thing, because you do based on who you are. So whoever you say you are, that's what you will express. And so the doing is just the expression of who you are. So you can say that you believe that you're abundant, but your doing shows me what you believe that you are, and you can only act from that which you believe to be true. So if you don't feel that you're abundant, even though you're saying that you're abundant, you won't experience abundance. If that makes sense, right? So if I say that I believe I have an abundant life, I can, money is no object. I can get money easily flows into my life. I can experience whatever I want to experience. And I don't necessarily need money to have certain experiences, because I know that I am an abundant person. But you look at my life, and I'm always complaining about, when I talk to you, I'm always complaining about not having enough money for groceries. Eggs cost too much. Chicken is too expensive. I want to go on vacation, but I don't see how. I don't have the money. When I speak in those ways, then I'm showing you I don't really believe in abundance, because I feel lack. And so I act in a lackful way. But when I'm abundant, I go to the store and I just know that whatever I desire or whatever I feel like purchasing, I'm going to purchase, regardless if the money's in the account or not. I'm just going to get whatever I need to get. And it necessarily don't even have to go to the store. Somebody can just bring me the groceries. Or I could be in line and someone could just pay for my groceries. Stuff like that happens all the time. I know we hear about it, right? We hear people being in Walmart getting hundreds of dollars just for being there, or people walking in some mall area or whatever, or wherever they're walking down the street, or they're in an airplane, in an airplane, or wherever they are. Money just shows up, or people are like, man, let's say my account said $100 a day, it say 10,000. Man, I don't even know where this money came from. Things like that happen all the time. But do you believe those things can happen to you? Do you believe that thing is something that money can just come that easily? Or do you associate work with money? And it's completely okay if you do. I'm choosing not to. I'm actualizing that money has infinite ways to come to me, and work ain't one of them. Work ain't none of them. And the thing is that I know I'm not doing anything to get money, and that I am money. I created it. And since I created it, I can have as much of it as I desire, and know that it isn't required for me to have the experiences that I have. If it is required, it will show up. If it is not required, then it won't be required, but I'll still get the experience. It's like, do we really believe that though? Do we believe things can happen for us in that way? And the thing is that once you come to the understanding of who you are, you start to recognize that your job as the character, the role, the person that you're playing is not your job to make anything happen. It's the part of you you cannot see. It's the higher self. It's the eternal mind. It's the intelligence within you, the wisdom within you that's going to do the work for you. All you do is say what it is that you feel like experiencing and then allow it to take place. Don't even think about how it's going to happen because it's already done. You just can't see it. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? So a lot of things you don't see, but you know they exist, right? Like you can think of a tennis ball, and even though it's not in your hand, you can imagine it's there and you can feel it, and you can even see yourself bouncing it if you chose to. That visualization is just as real as if you were physically holding that tennis ball and bouncing it up and down. Like there is no difference, even though our limited being self, our limited self will say there is a difference. It will say, well, I'm not actually holding a physical, but in your mind, you're actually holding a tennis ball. And I know it may sound woo, 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 and it may seem like, but that's the power that you possess. That's the power of whether you say God consciousness, imagination, subconscious, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, unlimited, infinite, eternal energy, all those words are interchangeable. They're all synonymous with one another. It's just depending on what resonates with you and what you identify with. And so it really doesn't matter what you say or, what matters. I mean, it matters what you say, but what's more significant is what you feel about what you say. How do you resonate with what you're saying, and choosing to speak less limiting thoughts and beliefs and speak more of unlimiting. And so how do you start to think less limiting thoughts? You got to let go of the judgment, the criticism, the condemnation, which is guilt and shame, and just say what it is you feel like experiencing and then allow it to take place. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to think about how it's going to happen, and it also brings me to another scripture that's found in Proverbs that says, trust in the Lord, which is the law, and the law is consciousness. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, your mind, and lean not unto your own understanding, which is your logical mind, which is the human concept. In all thy ways acknowledge him. Who are you acknowledging? Your higher self, your consciousness. And he, the consciousness within you, that which regulates your body, that which pumps the blood, that which circulates the blood, that which, just regulates 12 systems of the body, that part of you will direct your path. So you don't need to know how to do. Like, I don't need to know how my blood circulates in order for it to circulate. I don't need to know how the heart pumps, in order for the heart to pump, right? I don't need to know how the lungs inhale, exhale. Like, I don't need to know any of that in order for it to work, right? So I don't need to know how money is coming to my experience, or it's not even the money, it's the experience that you want to have that you think the money can give you. So it's about deciding what it is you want and then just allowing that thing to take place. And that's the part that we have conditioned ourselves to say is difficult, because we have been conditioning for so long to know, in order for money to come into my life, I actually have to work for it. I actually have to go get a job, because money just ain't gonna show up, which is not true. Money does just show up. I don't know if you saw my video where I won $500 from a free lottery ticket online, right? So money does just show up, and it happens like that all the time. People have stories like that all the time, and it can happen in your life all the time if you would just allow it to. So, and it's for me too, right? It's for me too. Like, that's why I'm on this path, because I'm all about experiencing abundance and making it easier, and seeing that abundance isn't about, dollars and cents, right? Abundance is about knowing that I created all of this, that I have the power and I can do and have and be whatever I want at any time because I am the creator. I am the power. I am the cause. And it's like, are you willing to accept it? Are you willing to take ownership over all of your life, over every manifestation, the good, the bad, and the ugly? And by wanting to take ownership of all of it, then you start to experience, right, more of what you feel like experiencing. And then it's like experiences just become more joyful because we think that, oh, I need to find my purpose. I need to find my purpose. Like, it's like this big thing, like you're supposed to be here to save the world. You didn't come here to save the world. You came here to create the reality you wanted to create. You're here to create your world because there are just as many worlds as there are people in the world. So my world is going to differ from your world, right? Because we have different perspectives on the world, right? And we all have our own unique, individualized concept. And so how I conceive the world to be will be how I experience it, and how you conceive the world to be is how you experience it. And I'm just here to help you to realize that you conceive a more abundant life, a more joyful experience. And that joy, abundant, successful life is not in overall big picture, is more of a moment to moment thing. It's like, how do I feel like experiencing this moment now? When Joseph Campbell says to follow your bliss, it's like, what is it that will give me the most pleasure now? Maybe taking a walk, maybe reading a book, maybe watching one of my favorite TV shows, getting on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, following the YouTube, watching the YouTube, whatever, eating piece of chocolate cake. And the thing is, when you do those things, you're not judging it. You're doing it for the sheer pleasure of experiencing it. And I know this is such a new way of looking at life. But if we would just do more of the things we enjoy, everything else would take care of itself. Life would just take care of you. You wouldn't have to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills, how I'm going to pay my car note. Well, what a bill is, a car note is a bill. Or, when I'm going to get my significant other, how do I rebuild the relationship with my children if that's a tension, if that's a tense relationship, or whatever problems you think you have in life. There are no problems. You created them. So because you created them, you can recreate them. You can just have them disappear out of your life by stop judging it and said, oh, I created this and I created it for the experience. I'm going to appreciate myself now for creating it. That's just how powerful I am. I'm so powerful. I created lack. I created the illusion of lack because it's not real. I created it, and since it's not real, I can say, okay, I've had enough of that. I feel like having an abundance of wealth. I feel like having, going on a trip. I don't know where the money come. I don't know how it's coming, but I feel like going on this trip, and it's going to happen. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And I'm going to accept that it's happening. Not only is it going to happen, it has happening. It is happening, and it's showing up. It's showing up now. And I'm not worried about it. I'm not fretting. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm not neutralizing it. I'm not double speaking. I'm not having a double mind. I'm not, double-mindedness is saying one thing and then saying the exact opposite, which is I'm canceling that thing out that I said, right? So if I say I want to go on a trip, but then over here I start questioning like where is it coming from? So that's me telling myself, oh, I really don't believe this thing. I don't really accept this about me. I don't receive this, which I'm giving myself. I'm telling myself, no, I can't have it. So, okay, I guess it's enough of that. I'm at the 25-minute mark. But, if you all are enjoying this content and time is not of the essence to you and you would like for me to talk longer, because believe me, I could. And, hey, let me know if you all would like to go live with me, how many of you are joining. Or maybe I'll just go live and just see how many of you will come. But anywho, I want to all thank you for your time and your support. And yes, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if this is resonating with you. And again, I'm not here to convince anyone of what they resonate or what they believe. This content is for those who are ready to receive that which I am sharing. Those who are wanting to experience abundant life and just tired of the grind, the sacrifice, the hard work, and want to have an effortless way of being. Again, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And before I leave, as your spiritual cheerleader, I depart with this scripture. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Now, go and be great.